Alright, video number 1, everybody. Choosing a guitar. As you can see, I've got a couple guitars up on the wall here. I've got them on grip books, which is pretty cool to do. If you're going to have your guitar hanging around, you should have it in a stand or hanging on the wall instead of in a bag or in a case, because you don't want it lying down on the neck all the time, which is, it's not going to kill the guitar, but it's going to be out of tune all the time, and you might have to adjust your truss rod, and I'll tell you more about that later. But choosing your first guitar. My first guitar was a $26 acoustic guitar that I got from Bianca Moore Liquidators. You probably don't have it around where you live. It's Surrey, BC, Canada. I think it's the only one that exists. But $26. You can go to Craigslist right now and you can find yourself a crappy acoustic guitar anywhere from $25 to $50 for a crappy acoustic guitar. If you're not sure if you want to play guitar or not, that's what you need. This is what you need. This will get you into the game. It's crap, and once you get a way better guitar, you'll notice that it's crap, but if you don't know any better, it's a decent starter guitar. Things to remember when you're playing a crap acoustic, if you do get one for your first guitar, is the strings are really high up off the fretboard, as you can probably see there. So that means you've got to push down harder and farther down on the strings to actually make your note. And also the fretboard's thicker, which means you have to really get your hand around it. It's more stretching. And especially crappy acoustics, the fretboards are not so good. The frets are kind of uneven, so you can still play it, so there's nothing wrong with it. But every now and then you'll get like a fret buzz. Your fingers don't slide as nice on the fretboard because, well, it's just like painted crap wood, right? And the strings are probably going to be cheap and everything. But a good way to start, because it's not going to cost you a lot of money, and if you find it's something that you don't want to do, then you can resell it or just keep it hanging on your wall. Shit, it costs you $26, $28, or whatever, $50, right? Get one as cheap as you can. Make sure there's no damage on it. Make sure it works. That's all that matters. Things you're going to want to check if you buy a used guitar are the tuning pegs. You're going to want to make sure they work and that they're not stripped. So just grab the guitar and just start turning it. And if you can actually tune the guitar, then on all the strings, don't worry if you take it out of tune. I'll show you how to tune it later. Don't worry if you take it out of tune. As long as all the tuning pegs work, then it should be a decent guitar. Make sure there's no physical damage and it's good to go. The next stage, if you know you're going to be dedicated or if you've already gone through the acoustic route, a electric guitar. I've got 2 electric guitars here, kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, because this one I got out of Craigslist for $100, but I totally customized it, so it's a BC Rich Warlock, but I've replaced the knobs with dice. I've put in 2 Seymour Duncan pickups, which are nice high-end pickups. I've got it airbrushed, so it's really nice guitar. I have for it now, but I haven't put on it yet. Grover tuners. None of this means anything to you right now, but the point is, this guitar can be had for $100 minus all the custom crap, which even without the custom crap, it's a nice guitar. I got a buddy who rocks. He's played guitar for like 12 years, and he owns one of these, and it's still stock, and he rocks on it. So, you can find this used for like $100. I got mine for $100, so decent. This one here is a LTD by ESP, AX2E. It's a solid body, neck through, mahogany, and ebony. I don't have to go into the details. The point is that this one is $1,100 brand new, and this one was like $300 brand new. I actually bought this one brand new from Tom Lee. I bought this one before I bought this one, and that's the mistake I made, which you shouldn't make. This is way too much guitar for me right now. It's nice, I can play it, but I don't need an $1,100 guitar. I just started playing. I play this one more because it's not worth as much, and I can, you know, take it around with me, and I don't worry about it. Honestly, unless you really kick ass, you're not going to notice the difference between the two, which I really don't. I know this one's a lot nicer because it looks a lot nicer. It's brand new. It's got a lot nicer parts in it. It's worth more. But for all intents and purposes, when you're just starting out, get a nice cheap guitar. It's all you need. Either an acoustic or an electric. Electrics are going to be a lot easier to play. They're going to be a lot nicer to play with. Like I was telling you about the strings off the fretboard of the acoustic. Look at those ones, are like really close to the fretboard, which means you don't have to push down as far to make your note. Also, with a nice, most fretboards are going to be rosewood. With a nice rosewood fretboard, your fingers slide across it really nice. If you go from playing a crappy acoustic to even just a cheap electric, you'll notice the difference right away. Electrics are a lot nicer. As far as brands go for a cheap electric, the good ones are Ibanez, LTD, BC Rich, and some Fenders, but Fenders are kind of touch and go because they're not. Most of them aren't made in the USA anymore. The cheap ones aren't made in the USA anymore. Some of them are made in like China and stuff, so not so good. BC Rich is good, still made in the USA. LTDs are made in Vietnam or something like that, but they're really good quality. So, you know, do a little bit of research, find out what you like. You know, hit the forums, shoot me a message. I'll do the best research, whatever guitar you're interested in, let you know if it's decent or not. Chances are, though, going from a crappy acoustic to you know, low and mid-range electric, you're going to be happy. So yeah, that's basically how you should choose your first guitar. It's not very hard, and it's actually a big difference if you start out with a cheap acoustic like I did and see if it's something that you want to do, and then get yourself a nice electric, preferably used out of Craigslist. You get them cheap, you get them for $100 for a decent guitar. Anyway, that's it for the first video. Later.